Hello everyone, I welcome you all once again to this channel PRABHAVI Competition Up, and in this video we are going to cover youth competition times static GK, and I'm very proud to say that this is the latest edition of this book. This is 2026 edition, and extremely important. This book is extremely important for those who are preparing for RRB exams, and also for those who are preparing for SSC, and those who are preparing for state public service commission exams. This book is important for all these examinations, and this is the latest edition, covered in only 224 pages, but these facts are the core facts, so you must know about these facts. India and world is covered under this particular book, and this is up to date, of course, guys. If we talk about the content of this particular book, I have already covered I have already covered ancient history in a master video, and I have also covered the Sultanate period and Mughal period. Later portions will be covered later. Today we are going to cover modern history. What we are going to cover today? We are going to cover modern history. So let's go to the target page of modern history 36. Okay, we are on the target page. We are going to cover modern history, and we will start with the order of establishment of foreign companies. Okay, because different East India companies from different countries came to India, and they were very hungry to trade with India, because India was that time, we can say, sone ki chidiya. Okay, so they tried to loot India, and actually they had looted India in terms of the wealth, culture, society. They have ruined India. Anyway, the past was very brutal, but here we have to understand that we cannot say that the past was brutal, so we will not remember this. We have to. Anyway, let's see. This particular table suggests us the company and their origin country, their year of establishment, and the first company or the first factory established in India. So first who came in India were Portuguese. So Portuguese East India Company, of course, they were from Portugal, established in 1498 AD. The company was established in 1490 AD, but the first factory which was established in India was in was at Cochin, and it was established in 1503 AD. Now this 1498 AD, if you recollect the memory, or if you go to the past, you will find that this particular year is very important, because Vasco da Gama, who was himself a Portuguese, Vasco da Gama came at Calicut, which is in India, and the Portuguese arrival begins with this particular event. Anyway, next to come to India were English, the English East India Company, origin England, Britain, and they established their first factory. Sorry, not first factory. They established their company. They established their company in 1600 AD, and in India, their first factory was established at Surat in 1613 AD. Now, next to English East India Company, next were Dutch East India Company. So Dutch East India Company, originally they were from Holland. Holland is also called the Netherlands. Now you are basically, you might, if you are a cricket fan, you might have seen Netherlands playing, and they are a good team, but not up to that level, which basically are dominated by India, Australia, and so on. So they have a cricket team anyway. So Dutch East India Company was established in 1602 AD, their first company or factory established in India at Muslipatnam. Now I want you to comment and tell me in the comment section, Muslipatnam is in which state? You have to just comment in the comment section. Next to come to India were Danish East India Company. They were from Denmark, and they established their factory in 1616 AD, and they came to India at Tranquebar. Their first factory was established at Tranquebar in 1620 AD. Second last to come to India were French. So French East India Company was established in 1664 AD, and their first factory was established in India in 1668 AD. Last company is Swedish East India Company. They were from Sweden, and they established their factory in 1731. They also established their center in China, and they also established their center in India. But in India, they did not hold much of the dominance as compared to English East India Company, Portuguese East India Company, and French East India Company. They have little sprawlings. They had little sprawlings in India, so they are not so important in terms of arrival of English powers in India, European powers in India. Next is Governor General, Viceroy, or the Governor of Bengal. Why they are important? For us, for students, they are very important because initial administration of India or British India was started with the provision of governor. So different governors played different role. They have different events occurred in during their period, and we must know because questions are directly being framed that this incident happened during which viceroy rule or which governor general rule. So like what I said you, what I told right now, like this many questions are framed. So first of all, we will discuss about Robert Clive. Robert Clive had ruled in India in two terms. The initial term was between 1757 to 60 AD, and the next term was between 1765 to 1767 AD. So the important events took place was the Battle of Plassey. Battle of Plassey took place at in 1757 at Plassey, of course, and one side was the English power headed by Robert Clive, and second power against which English power was attacking was Nawab of Bengal. Nawab of Bengal, okay, Nawab Sirajuddaula was defeated at the Battle of Plassey. Second important event took place during the reign of Robert Clive was Treaty of Allahabad. Treaty of Allahabad was the result of Battle of Buxar. Battle of Buxar. Battle of Buxar took place in 1764 between the English East India Company versus the Confederation of three. Nawab of Bengal, Mir Qasim was there in the Confederation, and second was Nawab of Nawab of Awadh, and third were Mughal king. All three fought against the English East India Company, but Hector Munro, heading the English power, was able to defeat this particular confederation. And this was the true reality of Indian history from where the dynamics of administration completely changed, because the next to happen was Treaty of Allahabad, under which the Diwani right of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha was transferred to English East India Company, and the Mughal king the Mughal king was given a pension of 26 lakh annually, and he had to recede this particular areas, Bengal, Bihar, Odisha. Next important event was White Rebellion, and last event which took place, important event during the reign of Robert Clive, was system of dual government in Bengal. So now I want you to know about the system of dual government in Bengal. What was it? So dual government means the Diwani right. The Diwani right, that is the revenue collection right, was given to Britishers, whereas the Nijamat right means the administration, general administration right was handed over to the Nawab of Bengal. So this is called the system of dual government in Bengal, because Diwani right or the revenue collection right is involving the money. Britishers keep this with themselves, whereas the Nijamat right, where the Nawab have to expend lot of money on the administration part, has to be handed over to Nawab. Anyway, next governor was John Holwell. He took governance in 1760 AD for 1 year, and the important incident was temporary governor of Bengal. He was a temporary governor of Bengal, and nothing else is important apart from his name. Next to come was Henry Vancy Tart between 1760 to 1775. The Battle of Buxar took place during his tenure. Next was Berlist 1767 to 1769. First Anglo-Mysore War. We are aware that the Anglo-Mysore War is a struggle between English forces and Hyder Ali, or the Mysore power. Mysore power was dominated by Hyder Ali, then his son Tipu Sultan. Tipu Sultan. But unfortunately, under the fourth battle of Anglo-Mysore War, Tipu Sultan was defeated and killed. So this struggle, Anglo-Mysore struggle, was ended in this particular year 1799, when the Tipu Sultan was killed. Next to come was John Cartier. John Cartier 1769 to 1772. So these are the governor of Bengals. Now we will also cover governor generals of Bengal. Governor generals of Bengal. So first governor general of Bengal was Warren Hastings. He reigned, or he ruled, between 1773 to 1785 AD. And the important events took place was a regulating act came or passed under his governor generalship in 1773. The regulating act was the first act. This was the first act which was explicitly designed to govern India, British India, to design the territory which was owned by Britishers in India. So it has many provisions. We are not going to cover in this particular portion. We will cover it separately. And next event which took place, or the next important incident, was ring fence policy was formulated, and it is related to Warren Hastings. Ring fence policy means Warren Hastings, under this particular policy, tried to ring the British territorial area which was occupied by Britishers, tried to fence it by having relationship with the nearby or the boundary states. Next is establishment of Supreme Court in Calcutta. This took place under the provision of Regulating Act of 1773. And let me erase this clutter. Next important incident was First Anglo-Maratha War took place under his reign between 1775 to 1782, and we are aware about the Maratha powers, the Peshwas, the rise of different confederacy under the Maratha power. Second Anglo-Mysore war was also happened under his generalship between 1780 to 1784. Again, this was between Hyder Ali and British power. Hyder Ali was actually defeated and he has to recede lot of territory to British power. Treaty of Salabai 1782. After the completion of Anglo-Maratha War, this treaty was signed between English forces and Maratha power. Treaty of Salbai. Next was War of Rohilla, took place in 1784. Pitt's India Act also passed under the Governor Generalship of Warren Hastings in 1784, and he was impeached. This is the most important event under the life of Warren Hastings. He was impeached in England for his actions in India. He was also called father of judicial services in India. We are also aware that Supreme Court was established in Calcutta under the Governor Generalship of Warren Hastings. So that is why he bring lot of reforms under the judicial services. Now next Governor General is John Macpherson. John Macpherson Baronet, 1785 to 1786. Nothing special happened under his Governor Generalship. Lord Cornwallis, he is very important. Governor General of Bengal, Lord Cornwallis ruled in India between 1786 to 1793. Third Anglo-Mysore War between Tipu Sultan versus British power took place between 1790 to 1792. Again, Tipu Sultan was defeated and lot of territory he has to surrender to British power, and his two of the childs were also taken as a hostage by Britishers. Treaty of Srirangpatnam after completion of this war, Third Mysore War. Next is creation of Cornwallis Code in 1793, the permanent settlement system in 1793. This is the revenue collection system on the agricultural land. This also started during the Governor Generalship of Lord Cornwallis. He is also called the father of civil services and police services in India. So this particular fact is very important because directly question comes as who is considered to be the father of civil services and police services in India. So you have to remember the answer will be Lord Cornwallis. So what is Cornwallis Code, or what was Cornwallis Code? Cornwallis Code mentioned lot of administrative reforms, separation of revenue administration from judicial administration. Okay, next was John Shore. Next Governor General of Bengal was John Shore. 1793 to 1798 he ruled. Charter Act of 1793, which granted extension to East India Company to operate in India for 20 years. This Charter Act came into 1793 under the Governor Generalship of John Shore, Sir John Shore. Second Rohilla War also took place in 1794. Battle of Kharda between Nizam and Maratha took place in 1795. If I am talking about Nizam, I would like you to know that Nizam hailed from Hyderabad state. He ruled Hyderabad state initially and was of course ousted by Indian forces in after the independence in 1948. Next Governor General was General Clark, 1798 he ruled, and nothing important to remember about him. Lord Wellesley is a very important personality and Governor General of Bengal, because the fourth Anglo-Mysore War took place under his Governor Generalship. So he introduced subsidiary alliance system in 1798. Subsidiary alliance system is a system, or was a system, under which the British uh, do agreements or alliance with the Indian state princes. The first was Nizam of Hyderabad, and according to the provisions of subsidiary alliance, the state under which the to whom with the subsidiary alliance has been signed keep has to keep British forces at their cost. They have to also not to make any alliance with the other European power, and in the result, or Britishers has to save that particular state from any aggression by either domestic power or international power. So this was the subsidiary alliance system. Next was fourth Anglo-Mysore war. I told you that Tipu Sultan was defeated and killed by Lord Wellesley under this particular war, fourth Anglo-Mysore war. Treaty of Bassein was also signed in 1802 with the Maratha power. Second Anglo-Maratha war took place between 1803 to 1805. Fort William College, this was established in 1800. Fort William College was established in 1800 to promote English education in India. Fort William College at Calcutta. Okay, next was Sir George Barlow, 1805 to 1807. He ruled. Sepoy Mutiny, not the 1857 Sepoy Mutiny. We are not talking about that. This Sepoy Mutiny at Vellore, which is in south, took place under the Governor Generalship of Sir George Barlow. Bank of Calcutta was established. Lord Minto ruled. Lord Minto won. He ruled between 1807 to 1813. Treaty of Amritsar was signed in 1809, and Charter Act of 1813 came into force. And again, East India Company was granted 20 years of extension to operate in India. And the second provision, the most important provision of this particular Charter Act, was disallowance of monopoly, or disallowance of monopoly of trade of East India Company in India. Next is Lord Hastings, 1813 to 1823. Anglo-Nepal War took place in between 1814 to 1816, and Treaty of Sugauli after the completion of the war was signed, and Nepal has to recede lot of portion like Darjeeling and all. Darjeeling was initially part of Nepal, now it is part of India due to this conquest. Third Anglo-Maratha War took place between 1816 to 1818. Pindari War also 1870 to 1818. Establishment of Raiyatwadi system in Madras in 1820. This also took place under the Governor Generalship of Lord Hastings. Raiyatwadi, Lord Hastings. And also Mahalwadi system was established in North India. Means Raiyatwadi system was established in South India, especially in Madras Presidency, and Mahalwadi in Northern India like Central and other area. Lord Amherst, 1823 to 1828. First Anglo-Burmese War took place under his Governor Generalship, 1824 to 1826. We have covered up to Lord Amherst, who was the last Governor General of Bengal. Now we'll cover Governor General of India. So Lord William Bentinck was the first Governor General of India, and he was a good personality, good person, positive thinking, and India breathed openly the fresh air under his governor generalship because he was a good personality. He wanted to have lot of reform in India, and he was a good friend of Raja Ram Mohan Rai also. With the help of Raja Ram Mohan Rai, he was able to abolish Sati Pratha in 1829, and he brought Sati Regulation Act. He described that Sati is a crime. Suppression of thuggis. There were thugs, lot of thugs were profoundly operating in India those days, but Lord William Bentinck was able to suppress them through his captain. One of the captain, his name was Captain Sleeman. Captain Sleeman was able to suppress the thugs. By Charter Act of 1833, the Governor General of Bengal was made the Governor General of India. So he was the first Governor General of India. In 1833, William Bentinck was made the first Governor General of India. लॉर्ड मैकाले का जो माइन्यूट था, लॉर्ड मैकाले's minute of 1835, under which lot of Western education, provisions of modern day education was started taking place in India. Then also merger of Mysore with British power took place in 1831. Merger of also Kurg in 1834 and Central Kachar in 1834 in the company's empire took place under the reign of Lord William Bentinck. Then also Treaty of Perpetual Friendship with Ranjit Singh was signed. Next to come was Lord Metcalfe. He ruled between 1835 to 1836. Press Act was passed under his Governor Generalship of India. He is also known as the liberator of Indian press because Press Act was passed and somehow Indian press were allowed to operate in India. Then next to come was Lord Auckland. Lord Auckland, he reigned in India between 1836 to 1842. During his Governor Generalship, First Anglo-Afghan War between 1838 to 1842 took place. Next is Lord Ellenborough, 1842 to 1844. Gwalior War took place 1843, and annexation of Sindh province took place in 1843. Indian Slavery Act was passed, under which slavery was totally abolished. This was passed in 1843. Lord Ellenborough. Lord Hardinge won 1844 to 1848. First Anglo-Sikh War took place 1845 to 1846. Treaty of Lahore was signed after the completion of Sikh War and ban on human sacrifice. The Bali Pratha was abolished. Lord Dalhousie, he is very important in terms of propagator of doctrine of lapse. This is considered to be the draconian policy of British administration in India. Lord Dalhousie ruled between 1848 to 1856 under the provisions of doctrine of lapse. If a Indian princely estate and the king, if the king have no son, no own son, he has to recede his estate to British power. This is called the doctrine of lapse, that you have to have, if you are a king, you have to have a son, you have to have your own son. Doctrine of lapse was the cause under which lot of expansion British power took place. Second Anglo-Sikh War also took place under the Governor Generalship of Lord Dalhousie between 1848 to 1849. Second Anglo-Burmese War 1852. Charter Act of 1853 which completely banned, no, it did not completely ban. Charles Wood Dispatch, the Magna Carta of Indian education, was sent to India, under which there were provision that higher education must be in English and vernacular language was discouraged. Santhal rebellion took place in 1855 under the leadership of Sidhu and Kanhu. This was a most important tribal rebellion against the mighty power. First passenger train between Bombay and Thane in 1853. Abolition of Peshwa pension and establishment of PWD, Public Welfare Department. Widow Public Works Department, not Welfare Department. Public Works Department was established under the Governor Generalship of Lord Dalhousie. Widow Remarriage Act, with a lot of efforts of Indian reformer, Widow Remarriage Act was passed under his Governor Generalship in 1856, and the Indian reformer was Vidya Sagar. Lord Canning, 1856 to 1857, Indian rebellion or Sepoy Mutiny of 1857 took place. This is considered to be the first war of independence by most of the world. V.D. Savarkar also admitted, and Karl Marx also admitted. Now let us look at the Viceroy of India. First Viceroy of India was Lord Canning. He took as a charge of Viceroy in 1858 and he ruled till 1862. Why the name change? Because 1858 Government of India Act 1858. Immediately after 1857 Sepoy Revolt, 1858 Government of India Act was passed and this was implemented in India. And according to this act, the name of Governor General of India was changed to Viceroy of India. So first Viceroy was Lord Canning. He ruled between 1858 to 1862. Government of India Act 1858 was passed. Formulation of Imperial Civil Services was also passed. And Indigo's Revolt of Bengal. This was a watershed movement in Indian independence. Indigo Revolt, because of the harsh conditions implied on farmers by planters, the indigo planters, this revolt took place in Bengal. And this was led by the Biswas brothers, Digambar Biswas and Vishnu Biswas. White mutiny by European troops also took place in 1859. Enactment of Indian Penal Code 1860, and this IPC still most of the provisions persist in India. The name change took place in 2023, but most of the provisions of Indian Penal Code still persist in India. Indian High Courts Act was passed 1861 and establishment of Archaeological Survey of India in 1861 took place during the Viceroyalty of Lord Canning. Next Viceroy was Lord Elgin. Lord Elgin won 1862 to 1863. The major event, establishment of Calcutta High Court, Bombay High Court and Madras High Court because of the passing of the High Court Act. Then Wahhabi movement in India is suppressed by Lord Elgin I. Wahhabi movement actually started in 1830s. Then it was suppressed by Lord Elgin Viceroyalty. Then next one is John Lawrence. Lord John Lawrence, he ruled between 1864 to 1869. Bhutan War took place in 1865. Establishment of Allahabad High Court in 1866. And famine, a big famine of the commission. A famine commission was constituted by the chairmanship of Campbell. So this is also called the Campbell Commission. Lord Mayo, 1869 to 1872. He has started financial decentralization. He also started census in India. First time census took place, but the regular census started only after 1881. Establishment of Department of Agriculture and Commerce took place. Establishment of Statistical Survey of India, and he was assassinated. He is the only viceroy who was assassinated in India, and he was assassinated by Sher Ali Afridi in Port Blair. He was assassinated in Port Blair. Okay, next देखते हैं Lord Northbrook. Lord Northbrook period was from 1872 to 1876. He was suppressed by Kuka rebellion in Punjab. Sorry, he suppressed the Kuka rebellion. Kuka rebellion took place in Punjab. This was a peasant rebellion. Peasant rebellion. So Kuka rebellion was suppressed by Lord Northbrook. Trial of Gaikwad of Baroda. Visit of Prince of Wales in 1875, and Dramatic Performances Act was passed in 1876 under his viceroyalty. He resigned himself in 1876. Then next viceroy who took charge, Lord Lytton, 1876 to 1880. Royal Titles Act was passed 1876, and the royal titles like Rai Bahadur, Raj Bahadur, these are given to the British government started giving these titles to Indians. Great famine of 1876 and between 1876 to 1878 took place. First Delhi Darbar was held in 1877. Vernacular Press Act. This was again a draconian act. According to the provisions of Vernacular Press Act, the newspaper of vernacular languages like Indian languages, Hindi and all, if they write or if they release anything criticizing regarding the government, according to the provisions of Vernacular Press Act, the machine, material, everything would be taken away from them. This was the provision of Vernacular Press Act. The Arms Act was passed in 1878. According to this, Indians were disallowed to keep arms. The second Anglo-Afghan war took place between 1878 to 1880. He also decreased the maximum age of appearing in civil services from 21 to 19. This was a good step actually. Lord Ripon, again, he was a very good viceroy. He was like Lord William Bentinck. First systematic census starting during his viceroyalty in 1881. Government resolution on local self-government was also passed. So he is also called as the father of local self-government in India. The appointment of Education Commission under the chairmanship of William Hunter, the Hunter Commission of 1882 was appointed. Albert Bill, the controversial bill under which there was a provision of trial of Europeans by Indian judges. So this was again highly debated in British Parliament that now an Indian will try us. Famine Code passed by Richard Strachey committee, and he also repealed the Vernacular Press Act, which was passed under the viceroyalty of Lord Lytton. Next was Lord Dufferin. The most important thing took place was formation of Indian National Congress by A.O. Hume and his camaraderie. Third Anglo-Burmese War took place 1885 to 1886. Burma was made a province of India with the Rangoon as its capital 1886, and establishment of Allahabad University took place in 1887. Lord Lansdowne Lord Lansdowne 1888 to 1894. Factory Act was passed, and there were regulations in factory were also passed. Indian Council Act 1882 was passed, setting up of Durand Commission, which decided the boundary line between India and Afghanistan. Age of Consent Act was passed 1891. Next was Lord Elgin II, ruled between 1894 to 1899. Spread of bubonic plague, Bombay, 1896 took place. Spreaded actually. And assassination of two British officials, Rand and other one, by Chapekar brothers. They were Hindu, they were Pandits. the Chapekar brothers I'm talking about. Establishment of Ramakrishna Mission by Swami Vivekananda in 1897, holding the Belur Mutt as a headquarter. Lord Curzon, he ruled between 1899 to 1905. Munda rebellion took place by Birsa Munda. And young husband expedition to Tibet 1904. Establishment of Banaras Hindu Girls School. Partition of Bengal and Swadeshi movement 1905. Ancient Monuments Preservation Act 1904 was passed. The partition of Bengal was announced on July 1905. It came into effect on October, in the month of October 1905. Now we will see some of the important commissions formed during the tenure of Lord Curzon. In 1900, Famine Commission was formed under the chairmanship of Sir Anthony McDowell. Then Anthony McDonnell. 1901, Irrigation Commission was established under the chairmanship of Sir Calvin Moncrief. In again 1901, Railway Commission was established under the chairmanship of Thomas Robertson. In 1902, Police Commission, and in 1902 itself, Indian University Commission headed by Thomas Rillig. Rillig was established, and the Police Commission was under the chairmanship of Sir James Fraser. Now we'll see Lord Minto too. He ruled between 1905 to 1910 AD. The important events: establishment of Muslim League by Aga Khan in 1906, a split in Congress in Surat session where the Naram Dal and Garam Dal was divided. The extremist and the moderate were splitted. Morley Minto reforms was introduced in 1909. Then separate electorate for Muslim under the provisions of Morley Minto reform, and direct election in the country for the first time was introduced. That is why Minto is called the father of Indian communalism, because he was the person behind this separate electorate for Muslims. Lord Hardinge too, he ruled between 1910 to 1916 AD. In Delhi Darbar, it was announced that the partition of Bengal would be cancelled and the capital would be shifted from Calcutta to Delhi. In 1911 it was announced, and this shifting took place in 1912 in Delhi. On 23rd December 1912, a bomb was thrown at Lord Hardinge in India. Bhai Bal Mukunda was executed in 1915. Lord Chelmsford, his period was between 1916 to 1921. The important events: Montague August Declaration was passed, in which it was declared that a responsible government will be established in India. Sadler Commission related to education was again commissioned. Death of Bal Gangadhar Tilak on 1st August 1920. The Rowlatt Act was also passed 1919. Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place on 13th April 1919, where in a small field, in a small bagh, Jallianwala Bagh, General Dyer, on the peaceful people who were protesting against the arrest of Dr. Satpal Malik and Saifuddin Kichlu. So General Dyer closed one door, only the single door, and instructed his policemen to fire upon these people, these nihatha people, जिनके पास कोई हथियार नहीं था. Lord Reading, he ruled between 1921 to 1926, the only Jewish viceroy he was. Mopala rebellion of Malabar coast of Kerala took place 1921. Hindu-Muslim color was there. Again in 1922 AD, the first ICS examination was held in London and Allahabad. Chauri Chaura incident took place in suburb of Gorakhpur, and this was the reason why non-cooperation movement was abandoned. Foundation of Swaraj Party 1923 by Motilal Nehru and Chittaranjan Das. Kakori train robbery or Kakori train action took place in 1924, where the extremists looted, or the revolutionary people looted, the train. Public Service Commission was established on October 1926. The next is Lord Irwin, ruled between 1926 to 1931. Hartog Butler Committee was appointed in 1927 regarding the native princely estates. Simon Commission, which was uh, all white people commission, reached India on 3rd February 1928, and this was boycotted by every political body and each people of India. Nehru report was published under which Motilal Nehru accepted or propagated propagated that we will accept the dominion status. The Pavali Manifesto was passed in 1929. Dandi March of 1930, the famous Dandi March, the world famous, in which Mahatma Gandhi started from Sabarmati Ashram with his fellow people and reached Dandi, a coastal area in April. He started on in March and reached in April. Boycott of the first round table congress in 1930. The Gandhi-Irwin Pact was also signed on 5th March 1931. So this pact was all about bringing the Congress and Gandhiji on the round table, so that the further development in India, the constitutional development, would be discussed. But it was all vain when Gandhiji participated in this, but came with the empty hand to India. Next is Lord Wellington. Lord Wellington ruled between 1931 to 1936. Second Roundtable Conference took place in 1931, in which Congress, the only Roundtable Congress out of 3 Roundtable Congress, this is the only Roundtable conference under which in which Congress participated. Third Roundtable Congress, sorry, not Congress, conference, it took place in 1932. Congress did not participate. Pune Pact was signed between Gandhiji and B.R. Ambedkar upon the issue of separate electorate for downtrodden, for the lower caste. Communal Manifesto was passed in 1932. Establishment of Congress Socialist Party in 1934 by. Next is Burma separated from India 1935, and India accepted that okay, Burma is a sovereign state now. Government of India Act was passed in 1935. There were a lot of provisions we'll discuss later on. Lord Linlithgow, he ruled between 1936 to 1944. The first provincial general election held in 1936-37, in which Congress formed 8 out of 11 provinces. The government by Congress was formed, and this was again watershed movement in the India's struggle of independence. People come to know about the Congress rule. With in out of 8 Congress government, 8 provinces, full majority was only in 5, and the Mili-Juli Sarkar in other 2 provinces, with almost majority in Mumbai and coalition government in 2 provinces. Cripps mission headed by Sir Stafford Cripps came to India on the discussion of constitutional development, and he basically came to India to lure Indians to participate in World War II. But Gandhiji and everybody was disappointed because there were no clarity when they are going to allow the country to form its constitution and become independent. So Gandhiji called it as a post-dated check. On August 8, 1942, the Quit India movement was started because of the failure of Cripps mission, and this revolution was violent in its nature. Although Gandhiji was against the violence, but this happened because the Gandhiji and other top-notch leaders were arrested in the midnight of 8th when the movement about to start. Slogan "Do or Die" was given by Gandhiji. Next viceroy was Lord Wavell, ruled between 1944 to 1947. Announcement of Sargent Plan of 1944 for education reform came into being. Wavell Plan was also presented in 1945. Cabinet mission, which was comprising of three important members: Sir Stafford Cripps, Patrick Lawrence, and A.V. Alexander. On February 20, 1947, British Prime Minister Lord Clement Attlee announced that power would be handed over to India by June 1948, because he was aware that now remaining in India would be very costly affair. Formation of interim government took place in September 1946. Lord Mountbatten, he was viceroy between 1947 to 1948, and Lord Mountbatten was the last Governor General and viceroy of British India and became the first Governor General of independent India. On 3rd June 1947, the Mountbatten Plan was presented, and the boundary, or this plan also outlined the partition of India into two countries, India and Pakistan. C. Rajgopalachari ruled between 1948 to 1950. He was last Governor General of India and the first Indian Governor General of independent India. So important social reform acts we'll discuss later on in the next chapter, in the next video. So that's all from this video. I again urge you to please like the video and also share it to your friends, and do subscribe to our channel. Bye bye. Hello students, I welcome you once again to this channel, PRABHAVI Competition Hub. And in this video again we are going to continue with this particular book. This is a very important book I am covering. This is YCT, Youth Competition Times, and this is Youth Competition Times Static GK. This is the latest edition available in the market. This is 2026 edition. Okay, and if you talk about the importance of this book, so this book is extremely important. This is extremely important for RRB exams, for state public service commission exams, and this is also very important for SSC exams. Okay, so this is going to be boost for you. A very good book, latest edition available in the market. Now if you want to have the PDF of this particular book, you can contact me on, write down this number, 8076412618. So this is the contact number. You can WhatsApp on this particular number to get this paid PDF. A small amount will be taken from you, and just to continue with the efforts we are putting and to grow this channel, we need some amount of money. Okay, so let's begin this particular session. As you know, I have already made a master video on ancient history, and also I have provided you a video on medieval and one video on modern history. So we will continue with the modern history and we'll try to finish the modern history portion in this particular video. We are okay, so we are on the target page up to important facts about viceroy or governor general of India. We have already covered. Now we will continue from important social reform acts and so on. So I think there are 8 more pages are remaining in this particular session of modern history. So we'll try to cover all those. Let's begin. So if we'll talk about the important social reform acts, there are many. Number one is 1795 and 1804. There was some sort of regulations related to infanticide. Infanticide is still a very prevalence in our society, but it is now happening in the secret mode. People are doing this. There are a lot of infanticide, especially the girl child. Now they determine their sex through different technology available, ultrasound and all. Although these practices are absolutely banned and no one can promote such kind of activity, but still in society it is happening, and people are still checking the sex of the fetus and also killing the female childs in the lure of male child. So this is not good. But first regulation and and second regulations happened during the Governor Generalship of Lord Wellesley in 1795 and 1804, and of course subject was ban on killing babies, especially infanticide. Next is 1829. There was a very evil practice in our society, sati pratha. This used to uh, happen in early life of our society, wherein if a husband dies, his wife has to um, immolate herself on a pyre of chita. So this was an evil practice, and many people talks about it, especially the Western educated people. Lord William Bentinck, along with Raja Ram Mohan Roy, were very vocal about this evil practice. They put all the effort to abolish it, and finally, under the governorship of William Bentinck, the ban took place. So, the Bengal Sati Regulation Act, the regulation number 17, it took place. It came into force in 1829, and this particular act banned on Sati Pratha practice. Next one is 1829. Again, Child Marriage Restraint Act was passed under the Governor Generalship of Lord William Bentinck, and according to the important fact, if you talk about according to this act, prohibition on marriage of boys or girls below 18 years of age were established. Okay, next is 1837. Hindu Women Property Act was passed under the Governor Generalship of Lord Auckland. The property rights of Hindu women was certainly some sort of right was passed, not fully, but some rights were given to them. 1843, Slavery Abolition Act was passed, and uh, that time the Governor General was Lord Ellenborough, and slavery in any form was completely banned. Slavery was completely banned. Slavery means what? Men or women were purchased as a slaves. That was slavery, and they had to do whatever the master says. Master says they have to do all the things because they are paid for the. They have been paid to their master about the money. 1856 Hindu Widow Remarriage Act was passed. Earlier in our society, widow remarriages were not permitted, and this was considered to be very heinous crime in our society. If any widow used to have marriage with any man or friend or having relationship with anybody, so this was allowed. Widow remarriage act was came into force, and widow remarriage was allowed under the Governor Generalship of Lord Canning. So widow remarriages was legalized. Efforts of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was there. Vidyasagar was a very vocal portion in terms of women's right, widows' right. Next is 1872 Native Marriage Act was passed under the Governor Generalship of Lord Northbrook. Legality of intercaste marriage was passed under it. Efforts of Kesav Chandra Sen, because Indian society again being orthodox thinking did not allowed in the early period the intercaste marriage. Interdining was even not allowed, but intercaste marriage was permitted, became legal under the Native Marriage Act. Next one was 1891, the Age of Consent Act. Lord Lansdowne was the viceroy, and this act permitted the consent of girls was increased from 10 years to 12 years. Earlier, the girls would be at any age. The 10 years girls were also legally permitted in our society to get married with a older guy, or sometimes in our society a very older guy. But this consent of age was increased from 10 year to 12 year. This was one of the needy thing at that particular time. This was due to the efforts of Behramji Malavari. Next was in 1930, Sarda Act was passed, and under the viceroyalty of Lord Irwin. Irwin, if anybody listen about Irwin, he should be definitely thinking about Irwin Gandhi Pact or Gandhi Irwin Pact. But apart from that, he is also famous because the Sarda Act was passed in 1930 under his viceroyalty. So according to the provisions of Sarda Act, the minimum age for marriage for boys was fixed at 18 years. Earlier it used to be uh, less, but it was increased and fixed as 18 years to be the legal age for boys, and 14 years for the legal age as the legal age for girls. So see here in 1891 it was raised from 10 to 12 for the girls, and again in 1930 it was raised from 12 to 14. So 14 was still a very tender age to get married because of the biological limitation of marriage of women's. See, 14 years is a really very tender age. Anyway, but it is currently 18 years, which is a good age. If any girl get married after 18 years of age, there is no problem as per as the medical or biological restraint or constraints are concerned. 1931 Child Marriage Prohibition Act was passed earlier, but still I would say there are a lot of places, especially Rajasthan and some of the north states, wherein some sort of child marriages are still there. Although the child marriages are happening, but they are not giving the child at the tender age to the husband or husband. They are not allowing them to live together, but they used to get married and they live apart. And after some years, when they get matured, they are allowed to live together. But this is also not allowed because at the age of 5 years or 7 years or 8 years, this happens. If this happens to some girl or boy, it is like that he is not able to he could not process that whether the partner is correct for him or not. This is not his decision because his mind is not um, um, uh, that much grown that he can decide. So right to choose, I can say it certainly infringed in such case. So anyway, Child Marriage Prohibition Act was passed under the viceroyalty of again Lord Irwin in 1931, and child marriage was prohibited, but still it happens in the society anyway. Next is we are going to see land revenue system in British period. So see, this portion is very important, land revenue system in British period, because a lot of questions are still being framed on this particular subject. This is the method by which Britishers exploited our peasants, exploited our country. So this is a very crucial portion of history, wherein from the exam perspective. So land revenue system during the British period can be divided into three part. Number one, permanent settlement, which is also said as a zamindari settlement system, and this was the brainchild of Lord Cornwallis. This permanent settlement system was introduced in 1793. So this was introduced in a particular area, a group of area: Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, UP, Banaras division, northern Karnataka. This was introduced, and under this settlement, jamindars were chosen and they were given the right to the land, and they used to deploy tenants on rent, and these zamindars had to pay taxes to the British government. So ultimately, the right of peasants were taken away, and this right was given to the big landlords or zamindars. So the peasants earlier, who were the owner of their lands, they become all of a sudden they become the tenants or the sharecropper. So this was a very bad practice anyway. This occupied 19% of the territory of British India. So this was at the less percentage of the land of the territory, but it was very draconian. Land was authorized to landlord, as I discussed, and it was the responsibility of zamindar to pay the taxes to or pay the revenue to the British government. Next was Raiyatwadi. This was introduced in 1820 and by the Thomas Munro. And it was implemented in Bombay, Madras and Assam. So it covered the most of the British territory, 51%. And land owner were the farmers under this system, the Raiyatwadi. If we talk about Raiyatwadi, Raiyat means what? Raiyat means peasants. Raiyat means peasants. So Raiyats were given the ownership of the land, and they had to pay the taxes to the British government. So individual farmer or the peasant or the Raiyat were allowed to hold their land, and they were supposed to, or they were legally supposed to give the rent, the revenue to the British government. And you will think that this system was good, might be good, because the Raiyats were given the right of their land, but this was not so because of the high revenue demand from the British government. The Raiyats were not able to pay their taxes or pay their revenue to the British government, and in many cases they were their rights of ownership of land were taken away and given to some other Raiyats. Next revenue system was Mahalwadi system. This was introduced in 1822 by the Holt Mackenzie. These names you have to remember, because certainly these are the facts, and many times these are being asked in examinations. So this was introduced in UP, Central Province, Punjab areas. This covered 30% of the British territory. Villager, under this system, village or the village headman was given the right of the land. Village headman was given the right of on the land, and he was supposed to collect the revenue from the fellow villagers and collect it and pay subsequently the amount to British government. So Mahal means village. Mahalwadi system, and village headman was given the right of ownership of the land of whole village, and he allowed the villagers to crop on the land, and he used to collect revenue from them, and subsequently he used to give this particular revenue to the government. Next topic is main centers of the revolt of 1857. We'll cover this in next video. Bye bye. If you like the session, definitely like it and also subscribe to the channel. Bye bye. Hello everyone, I welcome you once again to this channel, PRABHAVI Competition. And as you know, we are continuing with the youth competition times static GK book, and I have already made few videos on this particular book. A master video has been presented to you. Ancient history was covered in master video. Then again, most of the modern history portion has been covered, and today we are going to cover the remaining portion of modern history. So this is very important book as far as the RRB exams are concerned. Then this is also very important for SSC exams, and also crucial for state public service commission examinations. So this is the latest edition available in market. This is up to date 2026 edition. It is in English medium, of course, and the content you can see: ancient history, medieval history, modern history, and polity, geography, so on. Everything has been covered in this particular book, which is actually required for different examinations like RRB, SSC, and State Public Service Commission. So we will go to the target page, that is on 39th page. Up to land revenue system in British era we have covered, and we have to cover from now on main centers of revolt of 1857. So revolt of 1857 is also called the Sepoy Mutiny of 1857, and this was the watershed movement or the turning point in terms of India's struggle for independence. This mutiny has been called as the first war of independence, also first war of independence by V.D. Savarkar, and Karl Marx also called it the first war of independence. So there were many centers of this revolt. This revolt started with Meerut, and the very angry sepoys revolted over there in Meerut. They killed a lot of British officers. They opened or freed their the Indians inmates. The Qaidis were opened, and they also looted the armory. Overall, they revolted. The revolt was very open, and from Meerut they reached to Delhi on 11th May 1857. When they reached to Delhi to get the support of Bahadur Shah Jafar, because he was the Mughal emperor living on the pension of British, so he tried to reach him, and they wanted the leadership of Bahadur Shah Jafar because he was the symbol of a ruler, although he had no power, but they definitely gone to Bahadur Shah Jafar for the leadership. When they reached Bahadur Shah Jafar was not convinced, and he was in dilemma that whether I should lead them or not, but he had no option because the angry sepoys were forcefully asking to give the leadership of this particular revolt. Ultimately, Bahadur Shah II, or the Bahadur Shah Jafar, gave leadership to this particular revolt in Delhi. But unfortunately, this revolt was suppressed, and the suppressor was Nicholas and Hudson. They were British army officers of British Indian Army, and this particular revolt was suppressed on date 20th September 1857 in Lucknow. Again, sepoy wanted a leadership. They reached Begum Hazrat Mahal and his son Birjis Qadir. They definitely provided their support because the Lucknow Begum Hazrat Mahal was against the British rule. Birjis Qadir was against the British rule. This was the part of policy which was introduced by Britishers, under which many traditional rulers were discontinued with their rights. That is why they were very angry with the British rule. So they provided leadership, and they wanted to establish the status quo of early rule, which was full power to the Indian native rulers. So this revolt started in Lucknow on 30th May 1857, but unfortunately this was also suppressed by Colin Campbell, and the date of suppression was 31st March 1858. In Jhansi, Rani Lakshmibai gave the support to Sepoy Mutiny as a leader, and this revolt started in Jhansi on 4th June 1857, but unfortunately she was defeated and killed during the fight. But the general who defeated, General Hughes Rose, he paid tribute to Jhansi ki Rani, and he said that um, the British Indian army, or the British Indian generals, or the himself has fought the only men of this particular region, because he was definitely impressed with the fighting motivation of Rani Lakshmibai, and this was suppressed unfortunately on 17th June 1858. Kanpur was led by Nana Sahib. He was the last exiled Peshwa. He was discontinued with the rights given to a Peshwa by Britishers. So he decided to provide leadership to sepoys in Kanpur. This was started on 5th June in 1857, but again Colin Campbell suppressed this revolt in Kanpur on date 6th December 1857. In Jagdishpur, the very old man, roughly around 78 years old, the man was Kunwar Singh, Babu Bir Kunwar Singh. He was a Rajput of Jagdishpur. Jagdishpur is a village or a place in Ara district. Ara district. So this is extremely important for Bihar exams, because Kunwar Singh provided the leadership, and this leadership was very energetic, very proactive, and he was able to defeat lot of army commanders of British Indian Army. This revolt in Bihar in Jagdishpur started on 12th June 1857, but unfortunately this was also suppressed. This was suppressed by Major William Taylor and Vincent Eyre. This was suppressed in December 1858, and Kunwar Singh was supported by his brother also, Amar Singh. Next was Faizabad. Faizabad was headed by, or the leadership was of, Maulvi Ahmadullah. This was started in June 1857, but Campbell suppressed this revolt on 5th June 1858. In Bareilly, Khan Bahadur provided his leadership. In June 1857 it started in Bareilly. Again Campbell suppressed this revolt in Bareilly in 1858. Allahabad, again this is in Awadh region. This is in Prayagraj, current day Prayagraj, UP. Liaquat Ali provided his leadership to this revolt in Allahabad. This was started in June 1857, but Colonel Neil suppressed it in 1858. Last is Fatehabad. Fatehabad was headed by Azimullah in 1857. General Renard suppressed it in 1858. So this was all about 57 mutiny of sepoys. Next important topic is important social religious reforms movement which took place in India. And the background, if you talk about why this social religious reform movement was started, this was started to arouse the Indians about the evil practices prevalent during those period in society, and this was necessary because a social religious movement was the need of hour, because Indians has to unite and leave the all derogatory practices to unite against the Britishers. So initial movement was Brahmo Samaj. This was formed. This was established in 1828 in Calcutta, and the founder was of course a very important man of that period, Raja Ram Mohan Roy. He is considered to be the father of Indian Renaissance. because he was a modern man, a Western educated, and he had everything in those period to reform the society. And definitely he was against the evil practices in Hinduism, to bring reform in Hinduism, to adopt the goddess of all religion, to oppose the idol worship. He started this movement. This Brahmo Samaj was established, and also to propagate monotheistic faith. He said that God is one. The form may be different, but God is one. The Atmiya Sabha was established by him in 1822. Miratul Akhbad in Persian was started by again Rajaram Mohan Roy, and he was a good friend of Governor General William Bentinck, and with his support, the Governor General of those period, William Bentinck, was able to suppress or ban the Sati Pratha also. The next social religious movement was Calcutta Unitarian Committee. This was formed in 1823. Again, there were three founders: Rajaram Mohan Roy, Dwarka Nath Tagore, and William Adam. In 1822, Sambad Comedy was started in Bengali by Rajaram Mohan Roy. This is extremely important to remember, because many times I have seen in different examinations that this particular question being framed, that Sambad Comedy was started by whom? So this was by Rajaram Mohan Roy. Next is Pratna Samaj. This was founded in 1867. This is in Bombay, and the founder was Atmarang Pandurang. Prominent leaders were Mahadev Govind Ranade. He is considered to be the father of or the political guru of Gopal Krishna Gokhale, and ultimately Gopal Krishna Gokhale was political guru of Mahatma Gandhi ji. So Mahadev Govind Ranade was also a propagator of Western education, and he was also a propagator of industrialization. So objectives were Pratna Samaj. If we talk about the objectives of Pratna Samaj, the objectives were opposition to caste system and criticism of princely dominance. Princely dominance means Brahmans played or tweaked the things according to their requirement. They disallowed many castes to not to enter in temples and so on. And also the objective of Pratna Samaj was promotion of women education. Next was Ramakrishna Mission. Ramakrishna Mission was established in 1897 by Swami Vivekanand. Swami Vivekanand is a very important personality. He went to Chicago in 1893 and gave a very important lecture over there. Ramakrishna Mutt was established in 1897, and the headquarter or location of Ramakrishna Mutt is in Belur, which is in Kolkata. The objective of Ramakrishna Mission was to put emphasis on basic unity of all religions and condemnation of narrow views in different religions matter. Next objective was to carry out humanitarian relief works and social works. This is for humanity, of course. Swami Vivekananda supported idol worship, polytheism also. So see, there are ideological differences also. Rajaram Mohan Roy was against the idol worship. He was a propagator of monotheism, whereas Swami Vivekananda was absolutely opposite to the ideology of Rajaram Mohan Roy. Did not promote it, but he supported the idol worship and polytheism. Subhash Chandra Bose called Vivekananda as the spiritual father of the modern national movement, but he died unfortunately at a very tender age, very less age. He died. Arya Samaj was again a very important organization established in 1875 in Bombay. The founder was Dayanand Saraswati. He gave the slogan that Vedo ki taraf lauto. He gave slogan. and he said that the teachings of Vedas were not wrong, but the society or the priestly class might have changed these teachings to according to their convenience. That is wrong. So he accepted the authority or sovereignty of Veda, but the tweakness which was brought, the evil practices which was promoted or adopted by the Brahmanism or in latter period was against, according to him, was not good. Childhood name of Dayanand Saraswati was Mool Shankar. This is also many times has been asked in examination. So Dayanand Saraswati gave the slogan of return to the Vedas or Vedo ki taraf lauto. In 1874, Dayanand published his book Satyarth Prakash. This is again the key or the important point of this particular Samaj, Arya Samaj, because directly questions are being framed. In 1882, Cow Protection Committee was formed. This committee was formed to take initiatives that could lead to the avoidance of cow slaughter. The objectives to stop the conversion of Hindus also. Then the Samaj, this particular Samaj has an ideology of opposing idol worship, rituals, untouchability, caste system, and supporter of women education and equality. So see, Dayanand Saraswati Swamiji did not say that Vedas were wrong. He said that Vedas has its sovereignty and the teachings of Vedas is absolutely right, but the tweakness, due to the evil practices of Brahmins, in the later Vedic period, the Veda might be looking bad, but we should stick to the real teachings of Vedas. That is why he gave the slogan return to the Vedas. Theosophical Society, if we talk about, this was established in New York in 1875, and the founder was Madam Helena Petrova Blavatsky. She is also called Madam Blavatsky in short, and Colonel Henry Still Olcott. So these two people are very important as far as the Theosophical Society is concerned. The headquarters of this society was established at Adyar in Madras, which is in India. Definitely 1882 it was established. So this year is important. Annie Besant, she became the president of Theosophical Society because she was inclined to the teachings of Theosophical Society, or she was the propagator also. She popularized the movement. The objective of this movement, Theosophical movement, was to awaken and enhance the self-confidence of people of ancient Hindu religion, and to oppose the child marriage and casteism, and to develop the feeling of nationalism among the people. So Annie Besant she is related to promotion of home rule, self-governance, home rule, and she was associated with the home rule movement. Next is Devbandi movement. This is related to Muslim religion, Islam religion. This was started in 1866 in Devband, Saharanpur, Uttar Pradesh, and the founder was of course ulema led by Muhammad Qasim Nanautubi and Rashid Ahmad Gangohi. This particular movement was opened with a school in Devband, Saharanpur. Objectives was to spread the pure teaching of Quran and Hadith among Muslims because of the ill practices currently, or in the contemporary period was practiced. So this movement was against that, and they again spreaded the pure teachings of Quran and Hadith among the Muslim. And the second objective was keeping alive the spirit of jihad against the foreign rulers. Next is social religious movement and organizations. This is in the bullet form, in the tabular form. So Asiatic Society was formed in 1784. William Jones was the founder. This was located in Calcutta, Bengal. Atmiya Sabha was established in 1815. We have already seen in the previous section. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was the founder. This was again located in Calcutta, Bengal. Young Bengal movement. Henry Louis Vivian Desrosiers was the founder. This movement took place in 1822-30 in Calcutta, Bengal. So you can see Calcutta, Bengal was the epicenter of these movements. Tattvabodhini Sabha was established in 1839 by Devendranath Tagore. This was established in Calcutta, Bengal again. Paramhans Mandali was established in 1849 by Dadoba Pandurang. This was in Bombay. Rahnumai Majdayashan Sabha. This was to implement reform movement in Persian people, Persian society. This was started in 1851 by Dadabhai Naroji. He is called as the Grand Old Man of India, Dadabhai Naroji. This movement was started in Bombay. The Namdhari movement, 1857. The founder was Ram Singh in Punjab. Radha Swami Satsang. This was established in 1861 by Shiv Dayal Sahib and Jaimal Singh in Agra. Prathna Samaj, we have already discussed. 1867, Dr. Atmarang Pandurang and M.G. Ranade. I told you that M.G. Ranade was the political guru of. Now you comment in the comment section. This was established in Mumbai. Theosophical Society, already discussed. 1875, it was founded by Madam H.P. Blavatsky and Colonel Olcott. This was established in New York. Its branch was established in Adiyur, a suburb of Madras in India. Deccan Education Society was founded in 1884 by G.G. Agarkar. This was established in Pune. Indian National Social Conference was established in 1887 by Mahadev Govind Ranade in Bombay. Then Dev Samaj was established in 1887 by Shiv Narayan Agnihotri in Lahore. Widows Ashram was established in 1896 by D.K. Karve in Pune. And Servants of India Society. This is very important society. This was established in 1905 by Gopal Krishna Gokhale, the political guru of Gandhiji. Servants of India Society in Bombay. Pune Seva Sadan was established in 1909 by Srimati Ramabai Ranade. She was the wife of M.G. Ranade. This was established in Pune. Social Service League was established in 1911 by N.M. Joshi. This was established in Bombay. Seva Samiti was established in 1914 by H.N. Kunjru. H.N. Kunjru, he started Seva Samiti in Allahabad, Prayagraj. Hindu Mahasabha, see, this was a definitely 180-degree organization against Muslim League. This was formed to counter the Muslim League and propagate Hindutva in India. This was established in Madan Mohan Malviya in Haridwar. Women's Indian Association was started in 1917 by Annie Besant. Annie Besant was the first woman who headed or provided a chairmanship of any Indian National Congress conference, yearly conference. Annie Besant. So, Women Indian Association was founded by Annie Besant in Madras in 1917. Vishwa Bharati was established in 1921 by Rabindranath Tagore. Vishwa Bharati, and this was established in Calcutta. Vaikom Satyagraha, this was against the temple entry restrictions imposed on caste, lower caste. This was started in 1924-25 by K.P. Keswa Menon and K. Kelappan in Kerala. Then Guru Vayur Satyagraha was started in 1931-1932. This was by K. Kelappan in Kerala again. Now next important movement is lower caste movement and its organization. So Satya Sodhak Samaj was formed to empower the lower caste. This was established in 1873 by Jyotiba Phule. This was established in Maharashtra, Satya Sodhak Samaj. Arabi Pura movement was started in 1888 by Sri Narayan Guru in Kerala. Then Sri Narayan Dharma Paripalan Yogam established in 1903 by Sri Narayanan, and Padmanabhan Palpu and Kumar Asham also. This is again in Kerala. Depressed Class Mission Society was established in 1906 by V.R. Sindhe in Bombay. Bahujan Samaj Satara, this was established in 1910 by Mukund Rao Patil in Satara district of Maharashtra. Justice Party was established. This was established to uh, against the Brahmanism, to counter the Brahmanism in Deccan region. This was established in 1915 to 16. C.N. Mudaliar, T.M. Nair, and P. Tyagarajan Chetty were involved in the foundation of this party. This was established in Madras. Then Bahiskrit Hitkarni Sabha. This was founded by Ambedkar Sahib in 1924 in Bombay. Self-respect movement was started by E.V.R. Ramaswamy Naikar and Balija Naidu in 1925. This was started in Madras again. Harijan Sevak Sangh was established in 1932 by Mahatma Gandhi in Pune to reform the caste dogmas. Muslim social religious movement, if we talk about, number one is Darul Ulum or Devband movement. We have already discussed that this was started in Devband place in Saharanpur, Uttar Pradesh. This was started by Muhammad Qasim Nanautawi and Rasid Ahmad Gangohi. Devband is the place. Aligarh movement was started in 1875 by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, and this is the movement which led to the establishment of Aligarh University. This was started in Aligarh. Ahmadiyya movement was started in 1889-90 by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad at Faridkot, which is currently in Pakistan. Nadwatul movement was started in 1894-95 by Maulana Sihbili Nomani in Lucknow. Now we'll see some of the important peasants and tribal movements during the British period. Mopla rebellion. Mopla are the Muslim peasants of Kerala, and this Mopla rebellion was started in 1836 to 54. The first Mopla rebellion, and second one during the non-cooperation movement 1921 to 1922. And the composition, if we consider in Kerala, in this region, Malabar region, so Muslim were the peasants mainly, and the Hindus were the jamindars, and that is why the communal riots also took place in this particular region as a Mopla rebellion. This the affected area is Malabar in Kerala, and Kane Haji was the leader, and Ali Musliar. The atrocities of the landlords and the anti-Khilafat policies of the British government was the main cause of this particular rebellion. The next is Pagalpanthi movement. This was started in North Bengal by Karm Shah and Tipu. The region was revolt against the atrocities of the landlords. Indigo Revolt of 1859-1860. This took place in Bengal. The two brothers, the Biswas brothers, Vishnu Biswas and Digambar Biswas, were the leaders, and they were against this particular practice of growing indigo by forcefully by planters. Those who were the Britishers, in the lure of growing profitable indigo, they definitely exploited the farmers. They compelled the farmers of Bengal to grow indigo. They used to engage the farmers in the fraudful contract, wherein they give a very meager amount to the farmers to grow the indigo. So that is why this revolt took place. Vishnu Vishwas and Digambar Vishwas, this practice, indigo growing, was not fruitful to the farmers. So under the leadership of Vishnu Vishwas and Digambar Vishwas, the farmers of this region rose to the revolt. The region I have already mentioned, that forcing farmers to cultivate indigo. Pabna rebellion of 1873-76. This is again in Bengal, and Ishan Chandra Roy, Keshav Chandra Roy, and Sambhunath Pal were the leaders. The region was conspiracy against the possession of tenanted land, eviction and rent increase. Deccan Rebellion of 1874 to 1875 took place in Pune, Ahmedabad and Solapur, Satara, mainly in the Maharashtra region. and Ahmedabad is in currently in Gujarat, but those period it was part of Bombay state. Baba Saheb Deshmukh was the leader. The reason was increase in rent on cotton farmers and eviction by money lenders. Then Bijolia movement of 1905, again it was started in 1913 for a small period, then 1916, then 1927. This was in Rajasthan. The leaders were Sitaram Das and Maniklal Verma. The reason was various types of taxes were imposed on the farmers. Champaran Satyagraha started in 1917. This was the first Satyagraha or the first movement by Gandhiji, and this Champaran Satyagraha, Champaran place is in Bihar. This was against the Teen Kathia system. In which 3 by 20 part of farmers' land has to be grown by farmers, and the crop has to be grown as the indigo. Indigo was compulsory to grow by British planters as they indulged the farmers in a fraudful contract. So this was against the Teen Kathia system. This took place in Champaran, Motiari, Betia, Madhubani. These all are the places in Bihar. Mahatma Gandhi, Rajendra Prasad was his companion in this revolt. Brij Kishore Prasad also provided support. Rajkumar Shukla, he was the person who went to Lucknow to apprise the situation, of farmers, the bad situation of farmers, the deteriorating condition of farmers, and the life-taking practice of indigo plantation. He wanted to communicate this to Gandhiji. He was the person who invited Gandhiji to come to Champaran and solve this problem. This was against, of course, Teen Kathia system. Kheda Satyagraha of 1918 started in Kheda. This was against the hike of revenue, or to remit the revenue tax due to the revenue loss due to crop loss of this particular region. Farmers' crops were lost due to natural apada. Mahatma Gandhi was again the leader. Awadh Kishan movement was started in 1920 in Pratapgarh, Rai Bareli, in Sultanpur, Faizabad. These all places are in UP. Ramchandra was the leader. Illegal rent collection, land eviction rules and was implemented, and people were against this. Then Eka movement. Eka movement was started in 1921-1922. This was started in Barabanki, Sitapur, Hardoi, Bahraich, and Madari Pasi was the leader. The lower caste people were the leaders. The reason was protest against the increase in rent. Bardoli Satyagraha of 1928. This was started in Bardoli Taluka of Surat, and this is the movement in which Vallabhbhai Patel played a very important or the key role, and that is why Sardar Patel or Vallabhbhai Patel was given the title of Sardar by the women of Bardoli region. This was against the protest. This was against the increased rent by British government. This particular movement was started. Tibhaga movement of 1946 in Bengal. In this movement, basically the farmers wanted to give only one third part of their production or the harvest crops to the jamindars, but jamindars demanded 1/2, yani ki half of the produce as a rent. So Tibhaga movement means 1/3 movement, which is basically farmers were demanding that we'll give only 1/3 of the produce whatever we have produced on the field, but jamindars demanded 1/2 part, yani ki half part. The leaders were Kamparam Bhuvan Singh. The sharecroppers decided that instead of 50%, they would now give only 33% to the farmers, to the jamindars. it's not farmers. Next is, okay, here is one note point. After independence of India, Bhudan movement was led by Vinoba Bhave, under which Vinoba Bhave requested the land owners, the zamindars or the upper caste of society who have much of the land holding, they urged them to please give the lands or give it to the poor people, those people who have very less land. That is why it is called Bhudan movement. Next topic is major tribal rebellions in India. Chunar tribal rebellion took place in 1768 under the leadership of Raja Jagannath Durjan Singh, and the affected area where this tribal movement started is Jharkhand and Bengal. Chunar tribal movement. Then Baghera rebellion of 1818-1820. The leader was Baghera Sardar. This was started in Baroda. Ho movement in 1820, 1822 and 1825. This was headed by Raja Parahat. Singhbhum and Chota Nagpur were the regions affected. Bhil rebellion, Bhil tribal movement 1812 to 19, first phase, then second in 1825 under the leadership of Trimbakji Dangalia Sevaram. The place is the Khandes, or the affected area is the Khandes. Khasi movement, you know that the Garo, Khasi, Jaintia tribes lives in Meghalaya. So Khasi movement, the tribal people of Khasi community started this rebellion between 1827 to 1833. Raja Tirath Singh was the leader, Mukund Singh was the leader, and Bar Manik was the leader. This was in Khasi Hills, Assam and Meghalaya portion. Kol rebellion 1831-32. Buddha Bhagat and Ganga Narayan were the leaders. This was the region where it was affected, Chota Nagpur ka region. Khond tribes revolted in 1846 to 48, then 1855, then 1914. Chakra Vishnoi, Radhakrishnan Dandsen were the leaders. This was in Odisha. Santhal rebellion of 1855 to 56. Sido and Khano were the leaders, the brothers, and Chand and Bhairav also provided their leadership in Bihar and Jharkhand. Ahom tribes revolted in 1828 to 33 in the Gomdhar Kuar. Gomdhar Kuar was the leader. This revolt took place in Assam, northeastern region. Rampa rebellion of 1879 and again in 1922 to 24 under the leadership of Aluri Sitaram Maraju in Andhra Pradesh. Then Munda rebellion started in 1895 and culminated in 1900. So Birsa Munda was the leader. He is also considered to be the god of tribe. Dharti Abba in Chota Nagpur region. And next is Tana Bhagat movement by Jatra Bhagat and Balram Bhagat, Chota Nagpur region. Jiatrang movement started in 1931 by Jidong and Queen Gandhilu in Manipur. Now we'll see civil and non-tribal rebellion. So Sannyasi rebellion was the civil and non-tribal rebellion. Sannyasi rebellion was led by the monks, the religious monks of those period, such as Kena Sarkar and Manjarsa Divija Narayan. The period was 1763 to 1800. The affected area was Bengal and Bihar. Fakir rebellion started in 1776-1777 under the leadership of Majnun Shah, Chirag Ali, Bhavani Pathak and Devi Chaudhary in Bengal. Okay, one more fact I wanted to add here about the Sannyasi rebellion. This Sannyasi rebellion got its place in Bankim Chand Chatterjee Anand Math. There is a mention of Sannyasi rebellion in this particular novel Anand Math. Next is Paik rebellion. This was in two phases, 1804 to 17 and 1870 to 1825. The leaders of Raja Khurda and Jagbandhu were the leaders, and the affected area was, of course, Odisha. Ramosi rebellion again in two phases, 1822 to 1829, and again in 1839 to 41. Chittar Singh, Umaji, Narsingha Dattreya were the leaders. These are the affected areas, Pune and Western Ghats. Rebellion of Kittur started between 1824 to 29. Queen Chennamma of Kittur was the leader. This took place near the Dharwad region of India. Gadkari rebellion 1844. Krishna Daji Pandit was the leader, and the affected region was Kolhapur of Maharashtra. Faraji movement. This is bpsc important question, star mark. Faraji movement started between 1838 to 1858. Sariyatullah Dadu and Dadu Mia were the leaders. This was started in Bengal. Kuka rebellion started in Punjab region in 1840 to 41 by Bhagat Jawahar Mal. Pagalpanthi rebellion 1825 to 33. Karm Shah and Tipu were the leaders. This was in Sherpur region of East Bengal. Then Thampi rebellion started in 1805, culminated in 1809 by Diwan Velu Thampi, and he was vastly treated and suppressed by Britishers. This was in Travancore, Kerala. Now we will see some of the facts about Indian National Congress, and these facts we will try to see in next video. Bye bye. So now let us discuss about the Indian National Congress. Their important facts, the important facts related to Indian National Congress. See, in this book you will not find in detail about the Indian National Congress, its formation, the theory behind the formation of Congress, like safety valve theory and all. You will not find such detail in this book, because this is a static book in which the important one-liners or MCQs may be asked from this book, but in detail if you have to learn, you have to refer some different book. If you have to write mains subjective question, then this book will definitely not help you out. Anyway, we are covering this book for static GK, for the exams like RRB, SSC and State Public Service Commission, the one-liner questions. So the facts related to Indian National Congress. The first fact is first president of Indian National Congress. See, the first session of Indian National Congress happened in 1885, and the Congress first session, this session was organized in Bombay, and the first president was Bomesh Chandra Banerjee. First Muslim president, if exam ask such question that who was the first Muslim president, then the answer will be Sayyid Badruddin Tayyibji. First European president was George Euler. First female president, see here is a trick or twist, I would say, that if the question asks that the first female president, the answer will be Annie Besant. But if the question asks the first Indian woman president, then the answer will be Sarojini Naidu. Do not confuse in this particular question, because Sarojini Naidu became the president in 1925, but earlier the women president was Annie Besant. Youngest president was Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. Now we'll see some of the major annual sessions of Indian National Congress and their importance in terms of key facts. So first annual session was held in Bombay. This was the first, that is why important, and the chairman was W.C. Banerjee, Bomesh Chandra Banerjee. In this particular session, the 72 delegates from India participated in this session. 72 delegates were there, And this is important fact because the question may be framed from this fact. Next is session is 1886 session. This is again important because the first Parsi president um, for any session of major annual session was this session. This was held in Calcutta, and Dadabhai Naoroji, the grand old man of India, gave his chairmanship. The key facts are the National Association Congress merged into the National Congress. Lord Dufferin, who was the then Viceroy, Viceroy of India, invited all the members to the Garden Party. In 1887, Madras session took place in Madras. The Badruddin Tayyabji, the first Muslim president, presided over this annual session of Indian National Congress. And the key facts are: first, his speech was given in Tamil by Rao Sahib Mukkanachari, and a resolution was passed against the Arms Act because the Arms Act was brainchild of Lord Lytton. Against this, the resolution was passed because Indians were not allowed to have arms as per the Arms Act. The right was very restricted, but as compared to the Europeans were allowed to have arms. They were easily issued with a license to hold arms with them. Next is 1882, 88. This session was held in Allahabad, Prayagraj, and the first British European president was George Euler. George Euler became the first European president. Again, the important session was 1896 held in Calcutta. Rahimatullah Sayani, the second Muslim president, presided over this session. The first time Bande Mataram was sung here. This first time Bande Mataram was sung here by Rabindranath Tagore. Now there is a controversy about the Bande Mataram. The controversy erupted all of a sudden due to 150th year of celebration of Bande Mataram, because in 1875 this Bande Mataram was written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, and this was mentioned in his novel Anandmat. And then there was a controversy in 1923 when the then president of International Congress session was not allowed. Initially, no, he was not allowed to sing the Bande Mataram song, but he did not accept disallowance, and he sang this song Bande Mataram. But in later period, in 1937, the several portion of this song was dropped because of the opposition from Muslim community. Next is in 1905, the session was held in Banaras. This is important because Bengal partition was criticized in this session, and the president was Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Swadesi and Boycott were supported. They were supported because the partition was actually not on the ground of merit. It was a divisive policy of British Indian government then, headed by Viceroy Lord Curzon, who wanted to divide Muslim from Hindus. So that is why this whole idea was came into being. Next session was in 1906 in Calcutta. Dadabhai Naoroji was the president. First time Swaraj word was used by Dadabhai Naoroji, and Dadabhai Naoroji was the grand old man of India. He was also able to delay the split of Naramdal and Garamdal. We call it extremist and moderate. He avoided this split, but unfortunately this split happened in Surat session of 1907. The president was Ras Bihari Ghosh, first division of Congress in Naramdal and Garamdal. I told you the extremists and the moderates. Upon the future course of action in the Swadeshi movement was the bone of contention. The Garam Dal, the extremists, wanted to be more ruthless against the British rule. They wanted to more uh, struggle. They wanted full scale struggle against the British governance, but the moderates did not wanted to go beyond the legal methods. That was the bone of contention, and that is why the split took place in 1907 in the Surat session. Next important one was 1911 Calcutta session under the presidency of Bishan Narayandhar. Jana Gana Mana was sung for the first time, and this was again this song became the national anthem of our country. This was composed by Rabindranath Tagore. Next was 1916 session in Lucknow. Ambika Charan Majumdar was the chairman, and this session is very important in terms of Bombay. Governor Lord Wellington participated in this conference, and the moderates and extremists united here. Okay, and this session is also called League Congress Pact or Congress League Pact, because many concessions were allowed to or given to League by Congress, such as separate electorate was accepted in this. Next is 1917 Calcutta session. Annie Besant, the first woman president of Indian National Congress, she presided over this session, and she was also active during this period. She was active in propagation of home rule. Home rule movement was jointly started by Annie Besant and Bal Gangadhar Tilak. The tricolor flag was first adopted by the Congress in this session. Next session, important session, was in 1920 in Nagpur. C. Vijay Raghava Chariyar was the president. The policy towards the Indian princely states was declared because earlier Congress was quiet on this matter. Congress did not wanted to involve in the matter of Indian princely states, and the people of Indian princely state wanted that certain freedom shall be allowed to them, and princely states should be a part of international movement, because in the most of the cases, most of the princely states were not against the British Empire. They fought initially, but they were complacent in later period. But the people demanded to. People demand was continuously rising that Indian princely states should also take part in international movement, which was which was veered by International Congress. So first time in International Congress session of Nagpur under the presidency of C. Vijay Raghav Chariyar, the policy towards Indian princely states was declared, and it was said that the provinces would be divided on the linguistic basis, and Hindi would be made the communication language. Approval of program of non-cooperation movement was also passed in this. See, non-cooperation movement was started in 1920 itself, 1919, but the formal acceptance was there in Nagpur session. The next important session was in Kakinada, which is important in terms of All India Khadi Board was established in this annual conference. This was headed by Maulana Muhammad Ali. This took place in 1923. Then this is very important, VVI, very important session of Belgaum, Karnataka. The only time Mahatma Gandhi presided over any International Congress session was this session, Belgaum. The only Congress session was presided over by Mahatma Gandhi. 1925 Kanpur session was presided by Sarojini Naidu, the first Indian woman president of Congress. This is a fact you have to remember. Then in 1929, this is again a star mark, because in this Lahore session of International Congress, the annual session, Jawaharlal Nehru took over charge as president, and this is the first time the baton of presidency was passed from the old generation to new and dynamic leadership, the Jawaharlal Nehru. The resolution of complete independence was also passed, that we want complete independence, we do not want dominion status. This was passed. So it was decided to celebrate Independence Day on 26th January every year, because this was the date, 26th January was the date wherein where on this date many time the tricolor has been flagged off as a symbol of independence. That is why the due to the historical, due to its importance, this date was chosen as the Independence Day. In 1931 Karachi session, Vallabhbhai Patel was president. A bill on fundamental rights was passed. Again important, bill on fundamental rights was passed. So currently whatever you see as a fundamental rights, this was the this current fundamental right can be taken as the uh, source which was drawn from the bill on fundamental right, which was passed in or introduced in the Karachi session. Next is approval of Gandhi Irwin Pact, which was regarding Congress participation in the Roundtable Conference. And next was National Economic Program Bill. This was also passed in 1936. Again, this is important. Uh, this is again very important session held in Lucknow. Jawaharlal Nehru was again president. Nehru described socialism as the key to solving India's problem, because Nehru visited earlier to the Soviet states and he participated in the meetings of socialist oriented countries. So establishment of Congress Parliamentary Board was also important output of this session. Next is Fajpur session, which was held in 1937. This was the first session which was held in a village. This was the first session which was held in a village headed by or presided over by Jawaharlal Nehru. In 1938, the Haripura session of Gujarat, again important because Subhash Chandra Bose became the first time president of this session of Indian National Congress. National Planning Committee was formed. Subhash Chandra Bose advocated the use of Roman script for Hindi language. The flag song was approved. The Tripuri crisis is the next important one, because in this session, Tripuri session of MP 1939, Subhash Chandra Bose was the president, and he was the Tripuri crisis is all about Subhash Chandra Bose versus the old leaders headed by Gandhiji. Actually, Gandhiji propagated or he proposed the name of uh, his candidate, the Patavi Sitaramaiah. He wanted him to be the president of this session, but Subhash Chandra Bose was his opponent and he won with a big majority. This loss was a kind of this loss. Gandhiji did not accept it. Gandhiji was against the Subhash Chandra Bose intention. Subhash Chandra Bose wanted to be more radical. He wanted a different kind of policy, more towards leftist ideology, revolutionary ideology, but Gandhiji was against his ideology. That is why Gandhiji and top leaders said that we will not support Subhash Chandra Bose, we will withdraw from the support, and Congress without Gandhiji in those period was nothing. So that is why Subhash Chandra Bose ultimately has to resign, and for the interim period, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was chosen as the president. So this is called the Tripuri crisis. Next important session of International Congress was at Ramgarh in 1940, And Maulana Abul Kalam Azad became the president. He remained the president for the next consecutive 6 years from this session. In 1946, in Meerut, Acharya J.V.J. Kripalani became the president. He was the president of Congress at the time of independence, when Congress got its, when India or the nation got its independence. He remained the president of Congress. Next topic is about Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi played a very important role in terms of India's struggle for freedom, for independence. He is called as the Bapu. So he born in a place called Porbandar, which is in Kathiawad, Gujarat, and he born on uh, 2nd October of 1869. His full name was Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. His father's name was Karamchand Gandhi. Mother name was Putli Bai. Gandhiji left for Southampton uh, to study further, to study law degree on 4th September 1888, when he was only 18 years old. He was a son of Diwan. Karamchand Gandhi was Diwan. He took barrister training, the Inner Temple from London, 1889 to 1991. His political guru, many times asked, was Gopal Krishna Gokhale. His autobiography is the story of my experiment with truth. This is very important. Many times asked in examinations. All information about Gandhiji is important. He published Hind Swaraj. He was editor of Young India. He started Navjeevan. He started Harijan. He also edited Indian Opinion. Primary education he took in Rajkot. He was married to Kasturba Gandhi at the age of 13. First ashram established by Gandhiji was Phoenix Ashram, which was established in South Africa. This was the initial period wherein Gandhiji and Gandhian philosophy developed. Gandhiji's method of struggle was tested here in South Africa. And Phoenix Ashram, on the basis of Phoenix Ashram, Gandhian ashrams in India established, like Sabarmati Ashram and so on. Base of theory of Ramraj, it was based on the truth and non-violence, the Ramraj theory. Most effective weapon, according to Gandhiji, was fasting. He called it the Agni Ban. Okay, many times he utilized this method to defeat or to bow down the enemy, the British power. In his strategy of Satyagraha, Gandhiji gave the last place to strike, because and he was criticized also by the left ideology people, the labor class, the Protestant class. He lived in Africa about 21 years because he struggled there. He was fighting the issue of apartheid over there. He went to South Africa, Durban, in 1893 at the age of 24 to fight the case of a Gujarati businessman Dada Abdullah, and he remained there for a long period. He returned to India on 9th January. 9th January, not 9th January, 12th January. This is the Pravasi Bharati Divas in 1915. This arrival considered to be as a Pravasi Bharati Divas. First time he attended the Congress session of Calcutta session of 1901. Not 1901. He attended this Calcutta session in 1916, wherein a farmer Rajkumar Sukl from Champaran approached him and apprised him about the declining condition or the worst condition of indigo planters of Champaran, and he invited him to come to Champaran and solve the problem of Tinkatia system. He established a law office in Bombay in 1901. He established the Satyagraha Ashram in 1915 in Kucherab area of Ahmedabad, and on June 17, 1977, he shifted this to banks of Sabarmati River. Sabarmati Ashram was established. Gandhiji associates in investigating Champaran problem of Tinkatia system, where Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Acharya J.V. Kripalani, C.F. Andrews, Raj Kishore Prasad, Dr. Anugrah Narayan Singh, and H.S. Polak. Champaran Satyagraha was opposed by N.G. Ranga. N.G. Ranga, he was a left leader, communist. Mahatma title was given by Rabindranath Tagore during the Champaran Satyagraha. Mahatma title was given by him. Bapu title was given by Subhash Chandra Bose, a father of nation, or the Bapu. This title, father of nation or the Bapu, was given by Subhash Chandra Bose in 1944. Gandhi to give the title of Deen Bandhu to Charles Andrews. Who gave the title Deen Bandhu to Charles Andrews? This was the Gandhiji. Gandhiji, who was with Gandhiji at a farm, Phoenix Farm. Charles Andrews was with Gandhiji. Gandhiji resigned from Congress in 1934. Gandhiji supported philosophical anarchism. Gandhiji considered the cruelest form of violence perpetuation of property. Gandhiji was thrown out of a train in Petersburg railway station, South Africa. The prison which Gandhiji called a temple was Yerawada prison, Pune. He remained there for many years. Gandhiji was called one man boundary force by Lord Mountbatten when he was he was busy in the riot area of Bengal. Gandhiji delivered his first public speech in the Varanasi, the Hindu College, Banaras Hindu College, in February 1916. This is again very important fact about him. Members of Champaran Agricultural Inquiry Committee were F.G.S. Slart, President, M.E.L. Tanner, Secretary, and D.J. Reed was there. Mahatma Gandhi was, of course, made the member of Champaran Inquiry Committee. Raja Hari Prasad Narayan was the member, and G. Rainey, L.C. Adami, they all were the members of Champaran Agricultural Inquiry Committee. Gandhiji was invited to Champaran by Rajkumar Shukla. I have already briefed you about this. The person who supported the Khilafat movement was Mahatma Gandhi, because he saw this as opportunity to unite Hindu and Muslims, because the Muslims were not happy with the actions taken after the First World War against the Khalifa, who was considered as the head of this religion, Islam. So Indian Muslims were also not happy with the treatment of Khalifa, because the post was abolished after the First World War. Gandhi received the title of Kaisar-e-Hind during the efforts uh, during the World War. He helped a lot of people with the ambulance facility and providing first aid, lot of things. He was given the title of Kaisar-e-Hind. This Kaisar-e-Hind was the title issued by British government. Rule of Gandhiji during Khilafat, and Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So basically, the presidency of Khilafat Committee conference was given to Mahatma Gandhi. Muslims also gave respect. They provided lot of platform to Mahatma Gandhi, because they knew the role Gandhiji could play in Khilafat movement. This committee conference was held in Delhi on November 23, 1919. The task of drafting report of Congress Inquiry Committee on Jallianwala Bagh massacre. The massacre killed more than 1,000 people unofficially, and some 300 plus people officially, but more than 1,000 people unofficially. Gandhi gave back the title of Kesare-Hind during non-cooperation movement. A censor motion was brought against Gandhiji by Dr. Munje for withdrawing the non-cooperation movement because many leaders were not happy with the action which Gandhiji took after Chori Chora incident. He withdrew from this non-cooperation movement, and this was the gravest point which leadership of that contemporary period aroused, and they were not happy with this decision. Gandhiji started Dandi March on 12th March 1930, and he started this march from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi, a coastal area where he reached on 6th April, and finally by making salt from sea water he breached this law. The salt rule was broken. So Gandhiji broke the salt law on 6th April 1913 in Dandi when he reached with his fellow members. Gandhiji formed the All India Untouchability League in 1932 after the Pune Pact. Gandhi-Irwin Pact was signed in 1931 on date 5th March due to the efforts of Tej Bahadur Sapru and M.R. Jaikar. This was the pact signed between two parties, Congress headed by Gandhiji, that is why Gandhi-Irwin Pact, and Irwin, who was the then Viceroy of British government. Second Roundtable Conference, this is important because out of the three Roundtable Conferences, this was the first and the last Roundtable Conference in which Congress participated. This is the only Roundtable Conference in which Congress participated. This particular Roundtable Conference took place from 7th September 1931 to 1st December 1931. Mahatma Gandhi participated as the sole representative of the Congress. Gandhiji reached in London by a ship named SS Rajputana. Gandhiji stayed at Kingsley Hall in London. Gandhiji's first fast unto death was started on 20th September 1932 in Yerawada jail, started against the Communal Award of British Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald. According to this award, it was contemplated that separate electorate will be given to the communal to the lower caste or the downtrodden. They can choose from their community only in the elections. Pune Agreement or the Pune Pact was signed on 24th September 1932 between the followers of Ambedkar and Gandhiji. The do or die slogan was given in Quit India movement by Mahatma Gandhi. Biographer of Mahatma Gandhi was American journalist Louis Fisher. Now we'll see walks of Gandhiji in South Africa. This is again important section you need to remember. He formed their Natal Indian Congress in 1894. Indian Opinion, a newspaper, was started in South Africa only in the Gujarati, Hindi, Tamil and English language, published in 1903. Phoenix Ashram, the precursor of Sabarmati Ashram or the Gandhian Ashram, was first time established in Durban in 1904. He also established the Tolstoy farm in Johannesburg in 1910. Gandhiji's first three struggle 1917, 1918 and 1917 Kheda, Champaran, and in 1918 in Ahmedabad and Champaran took place in 1917, and 1918 was the Kheda Satyagraha. So in 1917 he travelled to Champaran on the request of Rajkumar Shukla of Bihar. He travelled to Champaran and he took lot of actions against the indigo cultivation, and he was able to abolish it. In Champaran, it was mandatory for the farmers to cultivate indigo on 3/20th of their land, and this portion of land was has to be most fertile land as per the indigo's planters' demand. and this Tinkatia method was abolished later on. As a result of Gandhiji protest, the plantation owners agreed to return 25% of illegal collection made from the farmers. In 1918, there was a dispute between the cotton mill owner and the workers of Ahmedabad regarding the plague bonus. And again, in this, Mahatma Gandhi organized a satyagraha in favor of the farmers of Kheda also. Gandhiji was assassinated by Nathuram Godse on 30th January 1948 in the Birla House complex in New Delhi. Now we'll discuss non-cooperation movement 1920 to 22. Okay, now let us discuss about the non-cooperation movement. Non-cooperation movement was started in 1920, 1922, and the this was started by Gandhiji again on 1st August 1920. Non-cooperation program was adopted at the Congress. This was basically not supporting to the British government. This was accepted or adopted in Nagpur in December 1920. Unfortunately, uh, after the incident of Chori Chora incident, wherein the angry mob, angry mob burned burnt a police station under police station in which there were 20 plus police. They burnt them alive. This incident took place on 4th February 1922, and I want to tell you that Chori Chora is an suburb is a suburb of Gorakhpur. Mahatma Gandhi then decided to withdraw the non-cooperation movement because his ideology was of non-violence. In the Congress meeting held in Bardoli on 12th February 1922, it was decided to postpone the non-cooperation movement. During the non-cooperation movement, Rabindranath Tagore called the burning of foreign clothes as an indiscriminate or ruthless waste, because due to the non-cooperation movement, uh, many foreign clothes were collected and piled up, and they were burnt. They were burnt. So this incident actually was not accepted to Rabindranath Tagore, and he called it as a ruthless waste. Now we'll discuss some of the important statement which is related to Gandhiji. So Gandhiji told Louis Fisher, "I am a true socialist. My socialism means Sarvodaya. The best way to deal with the foreign clothes is to waste them." Gandhiji said, "Harijan service is my life breath. Hence, without it, I cannot live even for a moment." Jawaharlal Nehru said, "The light has gone out of our lives." This statement was made immediately after the death of Gandhiji, assassination of Gandhiji. Gandhiji said, "What is wrong from the moral point of view can never be right from the political point of view." So, moral code was at extreme priority from the Gandhiji view. The statement newspaper said, "Mr. Gandhi can boil the sea water until he gets dominion status." During the Dandi March, Gandhi said, "I want sympathy of world in this fight of right against power." During the Karachi session of Congress, Gandhi said, "Gandhi may die, but Gandhism cannot." Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said, "History shows that Mahatma Gandhi, like a momentary ghost, raises the dust but does not raise the level." Because Gandhiji and B.R. Ambedkar, they were ideological opponent of each other on the issue of casteism. B.R. Ambedkar was in the view that caste persists in society, and there shall be some safeguard, some sort of safeguard for them. they shall be allowed to have a separate electorate. But Gandhiji was against the constitution. He wanted to completely uh, have a utopian society. He wanted to assimilate and reduce the casteism in society. Or, but he was not in tandem with the B.R. Ambedkar thought on casteism. That is why they were opponent of each other. Now we'll see some of the book of modern India, Young India, Hind Swaraj, Gokhale, My Political Guru, The Story of My Experiment with Truth. These all were written by Mahatma Gandhi. India Wins Freedom. This was a book written by Abdul Kalam Azad. Abul Kalam Azad. Commonwealth and New India. Any percent. The Life Divine or Vindo Ghosh. Bapu, My Mother. This was written by Manu Behan Gandhi ji. Manu Behan Gandhi ji. Anand Math, Durgesh Nandani. Both books were written by Bankim Chand Chatterjee. Geet Rahasya, Kesari and Maratha was written by Bal Gangadhar Tilak. The Man Who Divided India, written by Dr. Rafiq Zakaria. India from Karjan to Nehru and After. This was written by Durgadas. Freedom at Midnight, written by Larry Collins and Dominic Lapierre. A Nation in Making was written by Sunannath Banerjee. The Story of My Deportation and Unhappy India, Lala Rajpat Rai. India Unrest. This was written by Valentine Chirol. And in this book, Bal Gangadhar Tilak was considered as the main cause behind India unrest. That is why Bal Gangadhar Tilak filed a case against Valentine Chirol, and he visited London to fight this case. The India Struggle was written by Subhash Chandra Bose. Indian Musalmans. This was written by W. Hunter. Percepts of Jesus, writer Rajaram Mohan Roy. The Indian War of Independence, V.D. Savarkar. In this book, Sepoy Mutiny of 1857 was at the center of point, and V.D. Savarkar considered Sepoy Mutiny as the Indian War of Independence. Civil rebellions in Indian mutinies. This was written by S.B. Chaudhary. Awadh in Revolt, written by Rudrangsu Mukherjee. The Sepoy Mutiny and the Revolt of 1857, R.C. Majumdar. 1857, The Great Rebellion, written by Ashok Mehta. And Tahjeeb al-Akhlaq was written by Sayyid Ahmad Khan. Sir Sayyid Ahmad Khan, the propagator, the founder of Aligarh movement. Springing Tiger, Hugh's Toy Towards the Struggle, Jayaprakash Narayanan. India Divided, most important book, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Bandi Jeevan, A Life in Chains, Sachindranath Sanyal. Bandi Jeevan, A Life in Chains, Sachindranath Sanyal. Why I Am an Atheist, An Introduction to the Dreamland. These two books were written by Bhagat Singh. He was deeply incensed with the ideology of socialism, and he became a socialist. The Philosophy of Bomb, Bhagwati Charan Bora. Annihilation of Caste, B.R. Ambedkar. The Life of Mahatma Gandhi, Louis Fisher. Guilty Men of India's Partition, Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia. Amrit Bazaar Patrika or magazine, Motilal Ghosh. Bengali, the newspaper, was published under the editorship of Surendranath Banerjee. Glimpses of World History, Jawaharlal Nehru. The Broken Wing is the work of Sarojini Naidu. Captive Lady, Michael Madhusudan Dutt. India's Struggle for Independence, Bipin Chandra. एंड मदर इंडिया, कैथरीन मायो की बुक है ये. बहुविवाह, पॉलीगेमी, रिटन बाय ईश्वर चंद्र विद्यासागर. ही वाज a vocal person in terms of बहुविवाह. Das Capital, Karl Marx. Das Capital, Karl Marx. Prison Diary Towards a Struggle, written by J.P. Jayaprakash Narayan. Politics in India, Rajni Kothari. The Post-American World, Fareed Zakaria. Khilafat 2 Partition, Moin Sakir is the author. Modern Islam in India, written by W.C. Smith. The Muslim of British India, written by Peter Hardy. Eternal India, written by Indira Gandhi. The Roots of Ancient India, written by W.A. Fair Service. My Music, My Life, written by Pandit Ravi Shankar. Lucknow Boy, a memoir, written by Vinod Mehta. Mountbatten and Partition of India, written by Larry Collins and Dominic Lapierre. The Great Divide, H.V. Hodgson. Now we'll see some major wars of modern India. Battle of Kheda, fought in 1707, 12th October. This was the battle between Maratha Chhatrapati Sahuji and Tarabai. This was battle to get the post of Peshwa. Result, Sahuji Maharaj was the winner. Tarabai was defeated. The Battle of Sakar Kheda, 11th October 1724. Nizamul Mulk and Mubariz Khan. Winner was Nizam, of course. The Battle of Karnal, fought in 24th February 1739. Nadir Shah invaded Delhi and looted Delhi badly. Muhammad Shah Rangila was the then king, then Emperor of India, Mughal India. Nadir Shah was the victorious king. The Battle of Giria, 26th April 1940. Sarfaraz Khan and Alivardi Khan fought against each other. The ultimate winner was Alivardi Khan, and Alivardi Khan became the Nawab of Bengal after this battle. First Carnatic War was between 1746 to 1748. Francois Dupleix and English. This was fought between Robert Clive and Francois Dupleix, the French and English power. And this was without any result. A status quo ante bellum means without result. Second Carnatic War was fought between 1749 to 1754, again between Francois Dupleix and Robert Clive. In this battle, English forces headed by Clive was the victorious. Third Carnatic War was between 1757 to 1763. This was the third and the last Carnatic War. One side was the France force headed by Francois Comte Lally, and other side was the English Iroquois, and ultimately this battle was won by English Iroquois, and the French struggle in India was ended unfortunately. Battle of Plassey, 23rd June 1757. One side was headed by Sirajuddaulah, the then Nawab of Bengal. Another side, the English force was headed by Robert Clive. The victorious was English force, and this was the watershed moment in Indian history, because first time a company which came to India with army was able to defeat a king. Battle of Bedara, fought on 24th November 1759 between English and Dutch forces. English were victorious and Dutch forces were ousted. Battle of Bondi was, this was again part of in English and French struggle. France was again defeated. English force become winner. Battle of Pontivos. Third Battle of Panipat. Ahmad Shah Abdali, the Afghan ruler, and the Maratha king. Abdali was the winner, the ultimate winner. This was fought in 1761. Battle of Buxar fought on 22nd October 1764. Sorry. So one side there were three parties. Mir Qasim, the then ousted Nawab of Bengal. Sujaud-Dawla was the emperor or the king of Awadh. Shah Alam Twitiya was the exiled emperor of Mughal period. So all three get together, but unfortunately were defeated by English force headed by Sir Hector Munro in Buxar, and this was again a very big turning point. After this, Treaty of Allahabad was signed and Diwani right of Bengal, Bihar, Odisha was transferred from Mughal hands to British forces, East India Company. Next battle is first Anglo-Mysore War. One side the fighter was Hyder Ali, other side were the English force. Hyder Ali becomes the victorious. First Anglo-Maratha War was fought between 1775 to 1782. Warren Hastings and Maratha forces fought this war. This was unresolved. Second Anglo-Mysore War, Hastings, Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan fought. Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan both were from Mysore. Hyder Ali was the father of Tipu Sultan, and English force was headed by Hastings. This was again unresolved. Third Anglo-Mysore War, 1792-92. Charles Cornwallis and Tipu Sultan, unresolved again, but Tipu Sultan has to lose half of his territory to the English forces, and he has to also lose his two kids, two sons, and they were taken as the hostage by British forces. Fourth Anglo-Mysore War was fought in 1798, and it ended in 4th May. On 4th May 1799, one side Lord Wellesley, other side Tipu Sultan. English were the winners. Second Anglo-Mysore War, Maratha War, held fought between 11 September 1803 to 24 December 1805. Lord Wellesley and Maratha forces. English were again victorious. Third Anglo-Maratha War, 5th November 1817 to 1819. Lord Hastings and Maratha. Again English. Lord Hastings was the winner. Anglo-Nepalese or Anglo-Nepalese War, 1814 to 1816. Lord Hastings and Gorkha. English forces were the winner. First Anglo-Burmese War, 5th March 1824 and to 1826. Lord Amsterdam and Burma. English again winner. First Anglo-Afghan War was fought between 1st October 1838 to October 1942. Auckland was the then Viceroy, then Governor General. Afghan forces and Auckland fought, and English were the victorious. First Anglo-Sikh War, 1845 to 46. English forces was headed by Lord Harding, and Sikh forces was headed by Dilip Singh. English were the victorious. Second Anglo-Sikh War, 1848 to 1849. English and Sikh. English were the victorious side. Second Anglo-Burmese War fought between 1852 to 53. English and Burma, and English again the winner. Second Anglo-Afghan War, English and Afghan. English winner. China-India War, 1962. This is the modern history, real modern history. China-India War, India was attacked by China, and China occupied a lot of territory of India, defeated India badly. India-Pak War 1965. India was attacked by Pakistan. India became the victorious in this side in this war. India Indo-Pak War 1971. The Bangladesh Liberation War. India-Pakistan. India was the victorious side. Indo-Pak War 1999. The Kargil War. India-Pakistan. India became victorious. Now we'll see some important treatises in Indian history, then architecture in modern India, and we'll finish this after this page. Important treatises in Indian history. First Treaty of Allahabad, signed between Indian forces and Mughal power, headed by Shah Alam II. So this was signed on 12th August 1765, and Diwani right of Bengal, Bihar, Odisha were given to English, Robert Clive. Second Treaty of Allahabad, 16th August 1765, English, Sajudullah and Nawab Fawad. Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle, 1748, English and French. Treaty of Pondicherry, English and French. Treaty of Madras, 1769, and English and French forces again. Treaty of Madras, Hyder Ali and English, the Anglo-Mysore struggle, the first war. Treaty of Mangalore, Hyder Ali and English forces. Again, this is after the end of Third Carnatic War, Third Anglo-Mysore War. Treaty of Srirangapatnam. This was the second Anglo-Mysore War. This was the third Anglo-Mysore War. Tipu Sultan and English forces. Tipu Sultan was not fully defeated, but he has to recede half of his territory, and two of his sons were taken hostage. Treaty of Purandar was signed on 11 June 1665 between the Mughal commander Jai Singh and Shivaji Maharaj. Treaty of Sangola 1750, signed between Baji Rao and Raja Ram II. Treaty of Surat, signed on March 6, 1775 between Raghunath Rao and East India Company. Then the second Treaty of Purandar, signed in 1776 between Peshwa Madhav Rao Narayan and English forces. The Treaty of Vadgaon 1779, Peshwa Madhav Rao Narayan and English forces. Treaty of Salabai, Maratha Anglo-Maratha struggles related है, Peshwa Madhav Rao Narayan and English. Treaty of Basayan, Baji Rao II and English. Treaty of Devgan, Raghuji Bhosle II and English. Treaty of Surji, Anjgaon, Sindhia and English. Treaty of Rajpur Ghat 1805, Holkar and English. Treaty of Poona, Bajirao II and English. Treaty of Gwalior, Daulat Rao and English. Treaty of Mandsaur, signed in January 1818, Malhar Rao Holkar and English. Treaty of Amritsar, English and Sikh. Now we'll see some of the important facts related to architecture in modern India. Portuguese style, the architectures were mainly in the wooden ceiling and stairs were used. Bricks were used as main construction material in the Portuguese style. Basilica of Bom Jesus Church, located in Goa. This is the example of Portuguese style. French style, Cartesian grid plan was implemented. Scientific architecture were used. The Sacred Heart Church of Pondicherry is built in this style. English style, if we talk about, red sandstone and limestone were used as primary construction material. Victoria Memorial Hall is a very good example. Kolkata was built in memory of Queen Victoria. In Delhi, Sir Edwin Landseer Lutyens constructed India Gate and Rashtrapati Bhavan. St. John Church of Calcutta, St. Mary Church of Chennai are examples of this style, English style. Indo-Gothic style, it is a mixture of Indian, Persian and Gothic architecture. For the first time, steel, iron and concrete mortar were used in construction of building. This style reflects the use of large buildings, thin walls, pointed arcs and large windows. Neo-Roman style, the architectural style used by British after 1911, is known as the Neo-Roman style. Concept of inverted or raised dome is prominently seen in this style. The structure of building is spherical or circular. The Supreme Court and Rashtrapati Bhavan are built in this style, Neo-Roman style. So that's all from this video, guys. We have successfully completed modern history, and kudos to our effort. And if you like this video, definitely press the like button and subscribe to this channel. Bye bye.